Ladies and gentlemen, Jaylon Smith is a free agent, and Lord, Colts fans are already on the roll. They're tagging Jim Irsay. Colts is trending on Twitter talking about we need a linebacker, this, that, and other, because Colts fans are sick. They're sick of it. They're sick of the linebacker core, and it's time for a change. And who other than Jaylon Smith, former Notre Dame player? You know, Colts fans love Notre Dame players. He's from Indiana. Indiana Player of the Year. 2019 was his year. He made the Pro Bowl. 2020, he had a solid season. He's a good tackler. But I got two guys with me today. You guys know Lucas, top right corner. He's always on the show. But I got a Cowboys fan that's going to give his thoughts on Jaylon Smith at the bottom. Selwyn, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing real good. Feeling better. Feeling relieved.
Yeah,
Relieved.
yeah, man, for sure. Cowboys looking good out there. Before we go ahead and get you in there, where can they find you?
Oh man. My Twitter is at Selwyn SELWYN _ Robbins on Twitter. I'm also part of a Cowboys podcast that we just started up at Wax FM, WAXFM. Me and my guy Joe from back home, we started up a Cowboys podcast. So any Cowboys fan, if y'all looking for Cowboys podcast out here, man, look us up.
All right, for sure. Y'all heard it first, Wax FM. Check it out. New, fresh podcast. Definitely going to be looking forward to that. Appreciate you for joining the show. So, former Cowboy player Jaylon Smith is now on the market. He is out of your hands. Some Cowboys
Oof.
fans couldn't wait for this to happen. Let me know your thoughts about Jaylon Smith, man, from the start to the end, man.
Oh man, when we first got him, when we drafted him in the same draft that we got Zeke, man, I was excited. He was supposed to be really a top 5 pick when he was coming out of Notre Dame. Just unfortunately, completely shattered his knee, and during his senior year or his junior year, I believe. But yeah, he was real good. He was a very good prospect, and his first year when he got back, he played a couple games. He wasn't looking too good. Of course, the knee was still recovering. But then he turned it out. His next 2 years, he was arguably a top 10, top 5-esque, really, I'd say top 10, maybe linebacker in the league, looking like, and him and Van Der Esch were looking good for about 2 years, and then it just went downhill from there, man. He just last year, kind of an asterisk on the season. We had a terrible defensive coordinator, but they were hoping maybe this was the last year that he could get it turned around, and he just couldn't, man. His value has declined majorly since we gave him that deal. I would say his positives are this: he has a high motor. He's always going to give you 100%. He's not one of those that's just going to give up on the play. His negatives are just he's not what you want in your starting middle linebacker for in the NFL nowadays. You want a guy that could cover from sideline to sideline, not just speed, but also when it comes to the run game, be able to, shoot the gap when he needs to, show that extra motor and come down and hit somebody, man. And Jaylon Smith he just has not been that since really 2017. Mm-hmm. And it's been a few years in the making. Cowboys fans have been seeing it. We've been calling for him to really get released, let him go find a new spot. But the Cowboys finally came to their senses, realized that there was other linebackers on the team that were playing way better than him. And Cowboys fans have noticed his snap count has went down tremendously. Like last year, he was getting all the snaps. Now this year, I think when we were fully healthy the first 2 games, he was only getting like 30% of the snaps. So he was the writing was on the wall. It was either going to happen during the season or after the season. So I'm just glad that he gets a chance to go get a new home now. As much as I troll and I talk bad, I talk my stuff on the timeline, man. I don't wish bad on any player, so I'm hoping he can find a new home that could really use his skill set the best that he can, man. I don't think he's going to be a Mike linebacker anymore. I think he's going to play more of a wheel or off-ball linebacker. So hopefully, like you said, man, there's teams out here looking at him. So I would say the 2 teams that I probably would expect him to go to would either be the Colts or really the Ravens. I would say the Ravens could probably use him the way that they use their linebackers. So those are the only 2 teams that I could see him really going to actually be utilized this season. But we'll see.
He said the Ravens. But appreciate your point. We do play them next. Wasn't looking forward to that. We do have a history of playing new acquisitions a week
Yeah.
after they sign. But yeah, you made a good point on all your things right there. I'm pretty sure Lucas got something good, but it was an interesting thing. He brought up a name called LVE. That was the guy that most people during the draft, like Mel Kiper, they thought he was going to be better than Darius Leonard, and now he's just, non-existent. But
Oh
hey, man,
man.
they got a good linebacker core. I like Michael Parsons and everything, but they look solid over there in Dallas. But like I said, appreciate your point on that, Lucas. You're up. Let me know your thoughts about the hometown guy, Jaylon Smith.
Well, Jaylon Smith, like Sel was saying, has had a roller coaster of a time in the NFL. He had that amazing second and third year back in 2018. Absolutely phenomenal player. Unfortunately, his coverage skills have gotten very, very poor as the years have gone on. So if Colts fans are hoping that he's going to solve our coverage issues in the middle of the defense, I got bad news. It's not going to happen from Jaylon Smith. But he will help out a bit in our run stopping. He has great speed sideline to sideline. He gives those high effort plays that I know Eberflus absolutely loves. And speaking of Eberflus, he was the former linebackers coach for the Dallas Cowboys, and he did work with Jaylon Smith back in the day. The Colts run a similar type scheme that he used to play, and where he had some of his greatest years was in this exact scheme. So I think he could be a middle linebacker or a will linebacker for the Colts. Could possibly play a little bit of Sam depending on our lineups, but I would really, really be interested to see him added to the linebacker rotation. Maybe not be the starter, but if he could fill similar to the Anthony Walker type role that we had last year, that would be very, very good for this Colts defense.
I agree. Anthony Walker role is a big role. Nobody's filled their shoes yet. I haven't seen anything, and I'm not impressed by the linebacker core so far this year. You make a good point. Like I said, these players are, they're like a 50-50 thing. You can get, it's like a low risk, high reward. If he goes in there and shows anything of his prime form in our system that we run, we're going to be good. But if he goes in there and stink, we're not really losing anything because he doesn't really cost that much.
Yep.
But like I said, and adding him to the linebacker core that we have that's already a dismal wouldn't be that bad of an upgrade. Like I said, so we've seen the same thing with Xavier Rhodes. His down years in Minnesota, his way out the door. Everybody thought he was done. He stink. But, he came in the first year in Indianapolis and just turned it around. And as of now, Xavier Rhodes, we won't talk about that because he got a lot of work to do. But, he's cooked food over there. But like I said, Jaylon Smith, if we sign him, wouldn't be opposed of it. Am I expecting an upgrade out of it? Doubt it. But like I said, he's still got a lot of work to do. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad at the signing. Do you guys have anything left to talk about Jaylon Smith before he happened? He brought up the Ravens. Another team that I could see him potentially going to, or could be a use of him, is Philadelphia. That's another team that needs a linebacker. The Panthers could use him as well.
Yeah.
So you got anything else before we wrap it up?
Whatever system he goes to, like he said, your linebacker coach the coach that you guys have now was his linebacker coach in Dallas when he was at the top of his career, man. If he's in a system where he doesn't have to think too much and just go downhill and attack the ball, he'll be great in, man. So if y'all can put him in that position, he's going to flourish.
All right. Lucas, anything else before we go?
Absolutely. I agree 100% with Sel. He is a very, very reactive guy. If he's at middle linebacker, he shouldn't be the one who's calling plays. So there will be a bit of an issue on that because Darius Leonard has also regressed when he's started calling plays. So trying to figure out between those two might be a little bit tough. But beyond that, I do really like his fit for the Colts. May not be the great player that we were all expecting a few years ago, but would be a very, very interesting role player for this Colts team, and also would help rest up Darius Leonard's ankles since he's still recovering from an ankle surgery last offseason.
Sure, that's a good point. Well, I appreciate both of you guys' input. Shell already dropped the platform where you guys can find them. New podcast for the Cowboys coming up. Be sure to check that out. Lucas, go ahead and drop the gems where they can find you, or if you got anything you want to share.
All right. Well, as always, you can find me on Twitter at RobinsLucas. You can also find me as the lead writer for thebluestable.com. But also, I have a announcement to make. Tomorrow night at 8, I will be on the Cover 2 podcast with Joel Erickson from the Indy Star. So catch me on there if you want to see me as a little bit of a guest host, see how we do together. But I'm really excited for the opportunity and can't wait to talk Colts with Joel.
Wow, well, would you look at that? You're leaving me for Joel. I want, it's okay.
Hey, I'm not
just
leaving
don't make
you.
us look bad. I will be listening to this.
I won't make you look bad. I'm not leaving you. Your show has a special place in my heart, man. You know it.
I hear you. Sounds good. Cover 2. Wow, I didn't see this coming, but appreciate you for tuning in. You guys, let us know in the comment section. Check out my guy tomorrow night on the Cover 2 podcast with Joel. Shout out to Joel. Let us know about the Jaylon Smith thing. Where you think he's going to land? Let us know about his abilities, how you think he plays going into the future, where he might end up. But let us know all these things in the comment section. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, feel free to do so. This is Marcus. That's Sel. That's Lucas. And until next time, you've been Culture Shock.